Section 14-2 work together, we are going to do two transactions. We're going to do the transaction on the 4th and the transaction on December 8th. So on November 4th, we determined that we were not going to ever get the money from Mellon Corp. So we are writing it off. So we need to debit the allowance for uncollectible accounts. Their balance is $494, so we're going to write that off. And then credit or decrease accounts receivable so that is our transaction. By crediting accounts receivable Mellon Corp, we are eliminating their balance. No longer do they show that they owe anything. Well, you'll see on December 8th, we received cash in full payment for Mellon Corp's account previously written off for $494, M158 and R341. So we need to first do the M158. So we're going to come down here, December 8th. So first thing we need to do is flip what we just did on November 4th. So in this transaction on December 8th, we're flipping what we just did on November 4th and putting that money back into the accounts receivable with a debit. Accounts receivable is an asset that increases with a debit. So now that $494 is back into their account. We also need to do the transaction R341 in our cash receipts journal because we received cash. R341. So account title is Mellon Corp, and that accounts receivable credit. So we're crediting Mellon Corp, debiting cash. So that is the three transactions that we have in 14-2. November 4th, we said we're never going to get that money, so we're crediting accounts receivable to eliminate their balance. Then on December 8th, we received the money. We didn't think that we would, but we did. So then we need to put the money back into their account with a debit to accounts receivable. So we're just flipping what we did on November 4th. And then we also need to record the cash receipts. So we go into our cash receipts journal, debit cash, credit accounts receivable. And now they no longer have a balance. The next step for 14-2 is to post all of those entries. So we have posted, so I'm not going to go through and post everything, but one thing to note is that you are going to zero out some balances, but you do not need to write a line like we do. You will just put a 0. So you'll see here that when you post, you'll notice that Mellon Corp, they had a balance, then we wrote it off. So we credited it, they're down to 0. Then we debited it for $494 because they paid us. So we put their account balance back up to $494. And then coming from the cash receipts journal, we credit it. Now their balance is back to 0. In MindTap, you cannot, you'll notice it'll turn red. It won't let you write anything in here, but what we would have wrote is written off, then reopen, but you do not have to do that, and you will not have to do that on the test. So that is section 14-2.